Good evening, everybody. I'm Yuki Kamiya, Japan Society Director of Gallery. And welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the Talk Plus, Iconic Branding, Insights of Design Maven, Kashiwa Sato. We are extremely thrilled to have the most active creative director from Japan. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our Talk Plus season supporters, Delta Airlines and the Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group for their support. We are also grateful to Chris A. Walkenheim and Sandy Heck Lecture Fund for their support for the Talk Plus program. I'm pleased to introduce our speaker tonight, Mr. Kashiwa Sato, one of the world's leading creative directors. Mr. Sato, president of the creative studio Samurai, is known for his work overseeing the creative direction of the global branding strategy of Uniqlo, including design of Uniqlo's iconic red and white logo you may see everywhere on the street. His branding project has also included 7-Eleven, the CUPNOODLES Museum in Yokohama, which is a blockbuster museum you have to see in Japan, and the Honda N series. He's a winner of the numerous awards, including the Mainichi Design Award and Tokyo ADC Grand Prix. He's currently appointed as the official Japan Culture Envoy by Japan's Agency of Cultural Affairs. We are honored to have him tonight. And please allow me to do a little bit promotion. So we hope you will join us again upcoming Japan Society Talk Plus event, like Goodbye Things, the new Japanese minimalism on April 4th. And also, I also encourage you to visit our gallery, which is second floor, third gender beautiful youth in Japanese spirit until June 11th. You can find more information, any of our brochure, and also japansociety.org. So no more advertisement, so please join me to welcoming Mr. Kashiwa Sato to the stage.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kashiwa Sato. I'm deeply honored to be invited to share my thoughts and ideas with all of you today here at the Japan Society. I have been coming to New York every chance I get for business and for pleasure since 1989 during my student days. I love New York because it continually reinvents itself and gives off boundless energy, which a creator like me just succeed. As you know, I'm here today as Japan Culture Envoy on behalf of the Agency of Japan Cultural Affairs, the first creative director to receive this honor. Let me talk about myself briefly. I graduated from Tama Art University and joined Hakuhodo, one of the largest advertising agencies in the world. I spent 11 years there as art director and then left to establish my own studio, Samurai, in 2000. The name Samurai comes from my name, Kashiwa. The kanji for shi in Kashiwa means samurai. I modified and designed this kanji character to be samurai's logo. Ka means possible, Ra means peace. So even though I'm possibly a samurai, at least I'm peaceful one. Samurai's mission is to use the power of design to visualize new perspective. As a brand architect, I have completed many branding projects for corporations and organizations. To me, the purpose of branding is to create a strong identity, so communicating clear and iconic images to society is vital. I have created many icons over the years, and I see them as the most important element of communication. They must be simple, clear, and memorable. Let me explain the 5 aspects of an icon. First, the icon as logo. The logo must express the essence of the brand. You may know some of my most impactful icons in Japan or abroad. Uniqlo, 7-Eleven, T-Point, Rakuten, Imabari Taro Japan, CUPNOODLES, Mitsui and Company, Yamaha, National Art Center Tokyo, and more. Second, the icon as product. Through products, we experience the brand. We directly touch and feel it. Various shopping bags and store goods, product packaging, CD packaging, and concert goods for SMAP, one of Japan's most famous pop groups. Gifts and wrapping, university merchandise, museum goods and stationery, foods, confectionery and snacks, coffee machines, and clothes. All of these products can become icons. Third, the icon as space. Physical space, such as shops, offices, events, and karate dojo. First, the icon as architecture. This is the Ozok building, one of Tokyo's famous fashion brands. This shock of red cubic that suddenly appeared in the center of Harajuku, one of Tokyo's most famous neighborhoods, had an unmistakable impact. My concept for Fuji Kindergarten was architecture as a gigantic playground. As you can see on the rooftop of this donut-shaped building, Fuji Kindergarten, which won OECD's Center of Effective Learning Environment Award, is now one of the most famous kindergartens in the world. And finally, the icon as city. I see the city itself as a medium. In the city campaign for the SMAP pop group, which you saw before, this icon blanketed Shibuya, one of Tokyo's biggest and most attractive neighborhoods for the younger generation. I invented this way of thinking, that seeing the city as one big medium in Tokyo. This campaign in 2004 SMAP opened the door of new perspective of advertising campaign in Japan. I continually used this method to other campaigns as well. And it brought great impact to the society. I expanded this branding strategy for Uniqlo in New York, London, Paris, Shanghai, Moscow, and all over the world. I hope these examples portray how I see everything and every object, always through the perspective of creating icons. When you build everything as an icon, the speed and efficiency of your message dramatically increases. I call this iconic branding. Let's dive deeper into iconic branding now by looking into a few different projects related to Japanese culture. For example, here I used the Japanese characters in the Uniqlo logo. Some of you may recall the Uniqlo Soho, New York, opening in 2006. It was Uniqlo's first global flagship store, and it marked the beginning of their global strategy. When I was named creative director, Uniqlo had almost no activities outside of Japan, but now there are more than 1,000 stores globally. I first designed the logo and then created a succession of advertising campaigns. I also did product development and directed the interior design all over the flagship stores all over the world. In this project, the most important thing was to create their brand identity in both Japanese katakana and English. I'll explain why I created these logos, because it is directly related to the Japanese culture. As you know, the Japanese language uses 3 separate sets of characters: kanji, hiragana, and katakana. So design in English can be written in kanji, hiragana, and katakana. In modern Japanese, katakana is used to transcribe words from foreign languages. As a fashion brand, Uniqlo reinterprets foreign casual fashion through Japanese culture. As I plan to go global, I wanted to express the concept Uniqlo from Tokyo to the world in this logo. It positioned Uniqlo uniquely in the global fashion industry and became its fundamental brand strategy. Let me show you one more iconic project using kanji this time. The client was a Japanese beauty care company called Beauty Experience. I designed this logo from this kanji, bi. Bi means beauty in Japanese. Beauty is a core concept of this company. So I used this logo on the company stationery and in the beauty studio. And this is my painting on the wall in the entrance to the studio. All of these elements were derived from this kanji. The meaning takes form as a kanji, and that kanji then transformed into a logo. Finally, all these elements realize a clear, strong brand identity. This is how Japanese culture informs brand identity, and how Japanese tradition, which is both ancient and timeless, continues to thrive in modern Japan. You might find the next one to be interesting, Kabuki. For the past 400 years, from the Edo period to the present, Kabuki has been sustained by entire families of actors who have passed down not only their acting methods, but their names from generation to generation. The shumei, the name-taking ceremony, is an especially significant event for each actor's family and for the Kabuki world. 2016 was the year of the name-taking ceremony of Nakamura Shikan VIII, a very famous Kabuki actor of the renowned Nariko-Maya family. One day, Shikan VIII came to me and said that he would like to make his name-taking ceremony unique. He hoped to leverage its strong impact to attract more interest in Kabuki, which is not just tradition, but living heritage. This occasion was extraordinary for another reason, or rather for 3 reasons. Shikan has 3 sons, Hashinosuke, Fukunosuke, and Utanosuke. They were combining their name-taking ceremonies with that of their fathers, a 4-in-1, so to speak. Shikan asked me to use the power of design to create a totally new perspective on Kabuki. Here are my results. The iwaimaku is a celebratory curtain that is essential to the name-taking ceremony. I designed logos for their family name and for each given name using kanji in a contemporary typography. I arranged the 4 names to create an integral family look with a colorful pop style. The iwaimaku delivered the desired message from Shikan VIII to the Kabuki audience, who received it with enthusiasm. This design was also used in furoshiki, or wrapping clothes, which were distributed as a memento of the occasion. These stickers feature the same design. Shikan and his son presented them to their friends. I think you have each received a sticker along with your other materials. Please accept this as a small gift from me to all of you in appreciation of your attendance today. I hope you will spread the word about Japanese culture and design to your family and friends. The tenugui, or hand clothes, is very important in Kabuki. The design of the tenugui is a symbol of the actor, so each actor has his own tenugui. For Shikan's tenugui, I used this kanji, shi. The eldest son was taking the name Hashinosuke I, so I used Hashi, which are hiragana, the first character of his name. The second son was taking the name Fukunosuke III, so I chose Fuku, again using hiragana, the first character of his name. and the youngest became Utanosuke the fourth. I modified U, the first hiragana of his name. It was a great honor to be the first creative director ever involved in the name-taking ceremonies, and to be chosen to create a new iconic image after 400 years of Kabuki history. These activities were celebrated by the Kabuki community, who spread the word to others in countless photos and tweets. I've shared some iconic branding stories that integrate the 5 aspects of an icon. I'd like to close with my latest work, which is also about innovation in Japanese traditional culture, the Arita 400 project. In this project, you could say there is 6 aspects to the icon. The icon as method. If you know Japanese porcelain, you know the name Arita. Arita porcelain dates back to 1616. The craftsmen are known for their advanced porcelain techniques and the intricacy for their paintings. Prized in Europe, since the middle of the 17th century, Arita is now known worldwide. Arita celebrated its 400-year anniversary in 2016. To commemorate the anniversary and to empower the future of Arita porcelain, Arita 400 project was launched. In January last year, Arita 400 project participated in Maison et Objet Paris, the world's most prestigious interior and design event. I was invited to join as a guest creator, along with Takeshi Kitano, a world-renowned comedian and film director, Kengo Kuma, a famous architect, and Ken Okuyama, an outstanding industrial designer. When I was asked to be a guest creator, I wondered how I could contribute to this project. Arita has a long history and deeply ingrained traditions. Arita porcelain is known for its elaborate and exquisite painting, but it felt too conservative for our contemporary lifestyle. I wanted to create something that would break through this traditional image of Arita. I realized I had to create a new perspective for the next 400 years. I wanted to preserve the best of Arita and at the same time present a new surprising image to society. So something old and something new, and then something blue, stunning, iconic Arita blue. Here is the result. It is clearly not traditional, but it does provide a new perspective of Arita. The concept of my work is dissimilar. The fusing of extremely different or opposite images. It is both designed by accident and designed by logic. The images in my mind were both innovative and traditional, dynamic and static, chaotic and tranquil, timeless and fleeting, white and Arita blue. How did I do it? With a lot of frustration. I had a clear image of splashing, But realizing this flash was very difficult. I conducted many trials and even more errors. One entire trial was just to learn about splashing. I tried several painting tools. I tested a variety of sprays, shot water guns, pricked water balloons in order to create a light splash. But none of them satisfied me. Then it slowly dawned on me. Arita's highly skilled craftsman used a big fat brush called a damifude in order to paint the intricate patterns as it holds a lot of paint. I saw a way to innovate using this traditional tool. I loaded the brush with paint and cast it onto the porcelain. I found the damifude to be perfect for splashing explosions of paint, much to the horror of the craftsman, I am sure. This method, which drew on my body and soul, captured a fleeting burst of my energy and projected it onto a timeless object. This single moment of creation is now eternal in porcelain. Here, the iconic branding is the method, and it helped to create a new perspective of Arita, one that has never been attempted before. First, I created the pieces for the Paris exhibition, but then Arita asked me to create many others. Plates, flower bases, coffee cups, special Japanese lunch boxes, water pitchers, wine coolers, and so on. This is a powerful example of iconic branding. The icon is a method. Today, I've shared some of my work that borrows from Japanese culture and traditions and explained what I call iconic branding. I will continue to innovate with iconic branding while honoring Japanese culture and traditions. And I will continue to carry out my mission of using the power of design to visualize new perspectives. I hope my work helps to further our culture exchange and that it plays some small part in strengthening the relationship between Japan and the United States. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Hi, thank you very
Kashiwa-san. It's such a fantastic to hear his idea and the process. And so I'd like to ask a couple of questions to him. So I'm surprised it's such a different and a variety on the unexpected, maybe client. Yeah, your request from the client, it's such a broad, different gender. But to get ideas, what is most important for you to start branding?
Okay. May I speak Japanese?
Yes, お願いします。
最初アイディアのスタートの時に何が一番大事かという質問ですよね。僕は、ブランディングの仕事をしているので、こう自分が何をしたいかというよりも、相手にとって何が一番重要かということを一番考えていて、だから自分がアイディアを出すというよりも、相手の中から 引き出すというか、相手の一番大事なところを引き出してくる、その対象の本質を捕まえて引き出してそれをビジュアライズするというような方法論でやっているんですね。だから一番大事なことは別に自分がやりたいことではなくて、相手の思いを聞くといいますか。だからクライアントですとまずすごい長い間ヒアリングをします。あとああいう有田とか歌舞伎みたいなのだと、もっとその歴史を調べたり、実際に有田だと産地なのでその場所に行ってみたりとか、そういうリサーチをして有田の歴史というものはどういう、歴史で400年続いてきたのかみたいなことをすごく最初に勉強します。
So in terms of the what is important when I begin a new project, it's as I work as a brand designer. It's not so much about what I want to do, but it is about what the client wants to do. And I spend a lot of time listening to what it is that they are looking for. And in this process, I begin to understand the essence of what it is that they are branding, and I work in order to visualize that essence. For example, when I work with the Arita porcelain, I go to the specific place of production and I conduct research about the geography as well as the history. And the same can be said about the Kabuki project as well.
長かったね、すいません。
It's fascinating. Is the process of the Arita porcelain. It's Kashiwa-san looks like a Jackson Pollock or like a good Thai artist, and they're using work as almost artist. But it's an artist usually insists something, but you are more the healing something from the people.
そうですね。アーティストが、
アーティストは割とこう自分からこう、
はい、
発言をするタイプですけれども、柏さんこう聞き役になる。
そうですね。そこは随分最初から別にああいう手法方法論で、有田焼を作ろうって最初から決めてったわけではなくて、その有田をいろいろこう調べてると、やっぱりすごくこう緻密な絵の作業を素晴らしい職人さんたちがやっている。でそれとそこと同じことを、同じことはできないですし、全く真逆のことは何だろうということをいろいろ考えてああいうふうな手法に至りました。
At first, it wasn't my idea to do such a thing, but through my research, I came across all of these detailed images that were done by the craftsmen, and I realized I can't do what they do, or there is no point in mimicking what they do, and so I came up with that particular technique.
あとプロジェクトは、8社の窯元とやってるんですね。だからいろんな窯元って英語でなんていうんですかね、そういう窯元とやってるので、全然違う会社とやるようなものなんですよ。だけど何かそこにこう、アイコニックな、僕の作品というふうに、分かるようなやっぱり手法をアイコンにして、形が違っても同じシリーズにメッセージに見えるっていうようなことはどうしたらいいんだろうということをすごい考えました。
So for this project, I worked with 8 different claims, and I thought about method as icon and how can I convey this message even though these shapes themselves are very different, coming from different claims.
And you said the variety of the client, and you start to talk and hear. For example, how many hours, how many days you use for this communication?
はい、コミュニケーション。 例えば幼稚園、さっき富士キンダーガーテンっていうのは、あれは半年ぐらいヒアリングをしました。
For example, the Fuji kindergarten, I listened for
6 months。
6 months, half a year.
なぜなら、幼稚園を作ったことは僕も初めてだったので、ずっと幼稚園に通って子どもがどういう生活をしているかを見たり、あと園長先生の夢みたいなことをずっと聞いたりしました。
So I've never made a kindergarten before, of course. So I attended and went to the kindergarten almost every day and listened and watched what the children were doing, as well as what kind of dreams the kindergarten teachers had.
あと、日本中の、すごくいいと言われている幼稚園を見に行ったりもしました。
And I also visited other kindergartens that were supposed to be very well designed in Japan.
でそこで気づいたのが、きれいな箱の幼稚園はあるんですけど、みんな遊具が置いてあって、その遊具を取っちゃうと、小学校だか中学校だかわからない。
And I realized that there are many kindergartens that are like beautiful, neat boxes, but then when you remove all of those accessories that belong, like toys and play objects that belong in the kindergarten, you couldn't differentiate whether it was a kindergarten or middle school or grade school.
で、もっと建物そのものが幼稚園のザ幼稚園というか幼稚園の本質みたいなことを表しているものができないかなと思ってそうやって考えていたんです。
And I wondered if it would be possible to make a building that, in a way that the building itself captures the essence of what kindergarten is.
で、考えたコンセプトが、園舎自体を巨大な遊具にする。Architecture as a gigantic playground っていう、まあその園舎がアーキテクチャが一番のプレイグラウンドになっているというコンセプトを考えました。
And then I came to the idea of the architecture as the playground, and so the architecture itself was the most important thing in this project.
多分ヒアリングというかその幼稚園とか幼児教育にとって何が一番大事なんだろうみたいなことをすごい長い間考えたからそういうアイデアが出たんだと思います。
Not only from the hearing and listening to their playing and ideas, but thinking about what is important in terms of kindergarten education is what made me realize this form.
最初から別にドーナツ型の園舎が建てたかったわけではありません。
So I did not want to build this donut-shaped kindergarten from the beginning.
So always you think about the thinking, and thinking is a process to create something. And you explained to us it's about architecture and how you can involve in the design, but not only the building, you produce the product and also event and the very kind of different media you have to design. Are you confused, or isn't it a problem for you to create such a very different things?
そうですね。もともとは僕はグラフィックデザインを勉強してグラフィックデザイナーからスタートしたんですけれども、はいですよ。
Oh, so I started as a graphic designer, so at the core, I'm a graphic designer.
まあでも、仕事自体はもともと空間とか、空間そうですね、建築や、空間やプロダクトやファッションや映像とかにもともと興味はすごいあったというかあるんですね、今も。
And I've always been fascinated and interested in space architecture, fashion, and moving image.
なので、特にそういうことを、 僕からプロダクトをやりたいとか建築をやりたいということは実は言ったことはあんまりないんですけど、クライアントが、なんていうかな、建築をやってくださいと別に頼まれてるわけではない。幼稚園、新しい幼稚園を作ってくださいとか、ユニクロをグローバルブランドにしてくださいとか、そういう依頼なので、なんかもうやらざるを得ない状況になってるというか。
So it's not that I want to build a kindergarten or anything else, but in the offer or the clients bring me, it's difficult to say, but it is more like they ask me not to build a kindergarten, but to think of a new kindergarten. And it is the same for Uniqlo. For example, it would be more along the line of make Uniqlo a global brand. And so in these situations, I really have no way of saying no.
でも作ったことがなくても、イメージがあれば必ずできるんじゃないかなというふうには思っているんです。
Even though I've never made these things before, if I have images, I feel as though I can make them.
だから方法論はあんまり問題ではないと思ってる。
So the methodology is not the problem.
Great, thank you. So maybe I shouldn't ask you only myself, so maybe ask the audience the question. So if anyone had a question to Kashiwa-san, so the woman to the second row, maybe you can get the microphone.
Thank you so much for the beautiful presentation. I feel like we are very easy to, and unconsciously trapped into a certain mindset, and we don't know it until somebody else did it from different perspective to surprise us. So my question is, when you are entrapped or limited to a certain mindset, how do you suddenly realize that you are entrapped and it's time to jump out of the wall? And I also have a second question. Can I?
Maybe first, yeah, start from the first.
そういうふうに観念にとらわれているときに、そこにとらわれているということ自体にどうやってふうに気づいて、そこにどのようにことをして抜け出る努力をしていますか？
いや、すごくいい質問。
I think that's a great question.
いつもその固定観念というか、常識みたいなものに当然縛られると思います。
So we're always and constantly being limited by stereotypes as well as common sense.
しかし別にそこであえて奇抜なことをやろうとか変わったことをやろうと思うとそれは間違ってしまうんじゃないかと思う。
But when you're in these kinds of situations, to act out and do something strange would be a mistake, I think.
必ずその対象の本質は何か、その一番大切なことは何かということをつかもうとしていれば、自然にそれは常識にとらわれないようなことになるはずなんです。
So my method is if you look for the essence of the subject and if you try to reach for it, then whatever it is that is not being bound by those limits will come to you naturally.
でもそのどうしたら常識にとらわれないように固定観念にとらわれないようにするかというと、基本的には全部こういろいろ疑ってるというか自分のアイディアも、今の状況もこれは本当に正しいのかこれは本当にこれが正解なのかっていうのをいつもこう自分にも、問うているというかそこを疑っていることがすごく重要だと思います。
In order to question the common sense, I am constantly and always doubting anything and everything, whether this project or product is right or whether this one is right. And I ask this question to myself all the time.
Okay, so second question.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. How do you usually clean up your emotion trash? Because as a top designer, you need to be always rational and focused, but you always have, as a human being, you always have an emotional moment. So what is your daily emotional tidy up routine or method?
それ毎日何かやるようなこ
I
と
want
で
to know too.
その感情を整理
感情を整理する？
感情どういつも落ち着けていらっしゃるんでしょうか。トップデザイナーのプレッシャーとかもあると思うんですけど。
そうですね。
Let me think.
僕はすごい整理好きなんです。
I love to organize.
Everything organized. もうすっごい整理好きで。
I really love organizing.
で、家の中を片付けたり、
I organize and clean the inside of the house,
パソコンの中を整理したり、
as well as the contents of my computer.
ずっとそういうことばっかりやってるんですよ。
And I continuously do this.
で、子供が散らかしたおもちゃを片付けたりしてるとすごく落ち着きます。
And when I'm cleaning up my kid's mess after she's done playing, it makes me feel very calm.
すごく整理を皆さんやってください。
Please do organize.
整理をしているとこう怒ったりそういうことがなくなります。いつもこうすごくフラットでいられます。
If you organize, you will not experience anger. You will have a flat line.
英語版が出てないので残念なんですけど、日本語版で日本で佐藤柏の超整理術という本を出していて、それすごい30万部も売れたベストセラーになったんです。
I've actually published a book called what is
佐藤柏の
Sato Kashiwa's
How to Organize
How to Organize
How to Super Organize
How to Super Organize Correction. And it has been a very good seller, 30,000 copies. Unfortunately, there's no English
そう。
translation.
Yeah, we should translate in English. Yeah. So anyone else? So the back side, the. Yeah.
Is it possible? Hi. Is it possible to share your slides to us? Thank you.
プレゼン用に使った資料、この映像っていうかですかね、PDF を欲しい。
ちょっとスライドそのままちょっと共有できないんですけど、僕の柏里 .com というウェブサイトがあるので、そこにほとんど出てます。
I can't share the slides themselves, but I have a website, kashiwasato.com, and you can see a lot of the same things there.
You already organized.
Yes, that's perfect.
So someone at the center. So could you please microphone? Oh, it's coming too.
Hi. So when you were presenting your presentation, you talked about on the Aria project, you said designed by accident, but with logic. I'm really interested in this fact. So I would like to ask if you go through extensive experiment with, is it only on the Aria that you did that, or do you always have this kind of experiment with your other brands?
そしたら有田焼の作品について説明しているときに、アクシデントとロジックっていうことをおっしゃっていましたが、そういう実験するという行為はこのプロジェクトに関わらず他のプロジェクトにも行っていることですか？
そうですね。実験的なというか、新しいトライを必ずしようとは思ってます。
I don't always think in terms of experimentation, but I want to try something new.
で、新しいっていうことはすごい重要で、何かコミュニケーションの仕事をしているので、新しくないと人は興味を示してくれない。
So the idea that something new is very important, and as someone who communicates, people will not notice your ideas if it is not new.
なので、新しいイメージを作るには、新しいやり方とか、新しい考え方とか、何も形とかだけではなくて、新しいトライを、その仕事のやり方自体を考えていかないと、新しくなかなかならない。
So in order to make a new image, you can think of new methods or new thoughts, and not just shape, but new way of working.
はい。
So maybe the one more last question. If so, please. Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just wondering what advice or tips you would give to, like, I guess, like young designers or even like older designers trying to get into like the industry.
若いデザイナーに対してのアドバイスは何かありますか？
そうですね。まあそのクリエイター、デザイナーだけじゃなくてクリエイターみんなそうなんですけど、そのコミュニケーションの必ずコミュニケーションだと思うんですね。アーティストだったとしても社会とコミュニケーションしたり、その必ず一人でやるってことはないので、その自分のことと同時に、相手のことっていうのを考えた方がいろいろうまくいくと思います。
So creator, and not only designers, but also artists and all of the other creators, what you are doing is communication. And you are never alone in this process. So for this to succeed, not only should you think of yourself, but you should think about the other that you are communicating with.
そのコミュニケーションということを忘れて、自分が何をやりたいかだけを考えてると、それはなかなか受け入れてもらえない。やっぱり一人で生きているのではないので、そこがとっても大事だと思います。
So we're not living alone, and so if you are too obsessed about what it is that you want to do and forget about the communication, then there will be a lot of rejections.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. So thank you, Kashiwa-san,
Thank you.
for
Thank you very much.
sharing all the kind of thoughts. And thank you so much for the translator, Taro-san.
Thank you very much.